They told us that happiness would come when we finally arrive, at the right job, with the right partner, in the right home. So we set out chasing it, tirelessly, believing that one day we would finally feel whole. But somewhere along the way, we began to feel lost, not because we lacked anything, but because we were looking in all the wrong places. The Buddha didn't speak of happiness as something to be earned. He spoke of it as something to be remembered. Not a destination, but a state of being. Not something outside of you, but something already within. Your heart knows this. It has always known. And today we return to that knowing. In this video, we'll walk through timeless Buddhist teachings, not as old scriptures or abstract ideas, but as simple, powerful reminders of how to live, how to breathe, and how to rediscover happiness. Quietly, deeply, right here, right now. But before we begin this journey together, if these words already speak to something inside you, I invite you to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Not for numbers, but to help more people find their way back to what matters. Now, let us begin. We live in a world of constant movement. Every day we scroll, rush, strive, compare. We're surrounded by messages telling us who we should be, what we should want, and how happiness should look. Smiling faces on screens. Perfect lives in photos. Louder, faster, more, always more. And yet, in the quiet moments, when the phone is down and the noise fades, many of us feel something we can't quite name. An emptiness. A subtle ache. Like something important has been forgotten. You may have a home, a family, even comfort and stability. But if you're honest, do you feel deeply at peace? Do you feel truly at home, within yourself? This is not your fault. The world has taught us to seek happiness like a reward, something we earn if we try hard enough. But the Buddha taught something radically different. He spoke of happiness as a natural state, not created, but uncovered. A quiet joy that arises when we stop running, when we see clearly, and when we come home to the present moment. In the next part of this video, we will explore 5 core teachings of the Buddha, each one offering a key to unlock the happiness that already lives within you. They are simple, they are powerful, and they have stood the test of time because they speak directly to the heart. Are you ready to remember? Let us begin with the first teaching. We spend so much of our lives searching for the perfect home, the right words, the right time, and most of all, searching for happiness. But here's a truth we often forget. Happiness isn't something you stumble upon one day, like a treasure waiting at the end of the road. It isn't hiding in the next job, the next trip, or even the next relationship. The Buddha taught that happiness is not found, it is cultivated, grown from within, watered daily with presence, understanding, and compassion. He said, "There is no path to happiness. Happiness is the path," a simple sentence, but one that turns everything we've been taught upside down. Let's take a moment to reflect. How often have you said, "I'll be happy when the bills are paid, when the children are settled, when the health improves, when the past hurts less"? But life, as we know, doesn't wait for perfect conditions. And happiness doesn't either. There is an old Buddhist story. A man wandered the earth searching for a jewel said to bring everlasting joy. He traveled through mountains, deserts, across oceans. But after many years, tired and broken, he gave up. One day, sitting beneath a tree, he placed his hand on his chest, and there, inside his own shirt pocket, he found the jewel. It had been with him all along. He simply hadn't stopped long enough to notice it. That jewel is your capacity for joy. Not the loud, fleeting excitement of momentary pleasure, but the quiet, enduring joy of simply being here, alive, breathing. Imagine your heart as a garden. If you water it daily with gratitude, awareness, and compassion, flowers of joy will slowly begin to bloom. But if you neglect it, chasing distant pleasures and forgetting the soil beneath you, even the most beautiful seeds will wither. The modern world tells us to pursue happiness like a race, but the Buddha invites us to slow down, to plant happiness one moment at a time. Today, especially in the West, we're told to always aim higher, earn more, do more. Retirement is supposed to bring peace, but many still feel restless or unsure of their purpose. Scrolling through social media, we see others smiling, traveling, celebrating, and part of us wonders, why don't I feel that happy? But images are not reality. True happiness is not found in the image of life, but in the experience of life. It's in the warmth of sunlight through your window, the quiet of early morning, the taste of hot tea, the sound of your own breath. Here is a small practice, simple but powerful. Each morning, before anything else, sit quietly for 1 minute. Place your hand over your heart and ask yourself, what can I be grateful for right now? Maybe it's your breath. Maybe it's your body, still strong in so many ways. Maybe it's the memory of someone you love. This is how we begin to cultivate happiness. Not by reaching out, but by reaching inward. And when you do this, day after day, you may begin to notice something miraculous. You feel more alive, more peaceful, more at home, not in the world, but in yourself. So let me ask you, what have you been chasing all these years? And what might happen if instead of chasing, you chose to simply notice what is already here? Everything changes. The seasons, the faces we love, the rhythm of our breath, the strength in our hands. And yet, so often, we suffer not because things change, but because we expected them not to. The Buddha taught that all things conditioned are impermanent. He said, all that arises also passes away. Understand this deeply, and nothing will disturb your peace. At first, this truth may feel painful. We want the good things to last. The laughter of children, the feeling of being loved, the safety of health, of routine, of control. But impermanence is not here to punish us. It is here to set us free. When we understand that everything changes, we stop clinging. We stop grasping for what we can't hold. And we begin, slowly, to relax into the river of life. There's a story from the Buddha's time. A woman named Kisa Gotami lost her only child. Devastated, she carried her child's body through the streets, begging someone, anyone, to bring him back to life. People turned her away until one kind person sent her to the Buddha. She fell to his feet and begged, "Please, help me, bring my son back." The Buddha told her gently, "Yes, but first, bring me a single mustard seed from a house that has never known death." Hopeful, she ran from door to door. But every home had known loss. A father, a mother, a friend, a child. And slowly, Kisa Gotami understood. She was not alone in her sorrow. Everyone suffers. Everyone loses. And in that truth, she began to find peace. We all carry grief. Not just for people we've lost, but for parts of ourselves, for dreams that faded, for times that will never return. But when we resist change, we create more pain. When we accept change, we open ourselves to peace. Imagine holding a handful of sand. If you grip it tightly, it slips through your fingers. But if you rest your hand open, the sand stays with you, gently. This is how life asks to be held, lightly, lovingly, without clinging. In modern life, we try to freeze moments. Photos, videos, memories stored in cloud drives. We say, I wish things could stay like this forever, but they can't. And they shouldn't. Because the beauty of this moment is that it is here now and gone the next. Like a sunset, like a breeze, like the sound of laughter in a room that slowly quiets. Instead of fearing change, what if we honored it? What if, instead of holding on, we bowed as it passed? there is freedom in letting go. There is lightness in accepting what is. Even your emotions, the sadness, the anxiety, the anger, they are not permanent. They rise. They stay for a while. And then they pass. You are not broken. You are simply human, moving through waves of change. And beneath those waves is the stillness of awareness, always waiting for you to return. So here is something you can try. The next time a strong emotion comes, don't run. Don't judge. Don't hold. Simply say to yourself, this is passing, like a cloud across the sky. I don't need to stop it. I only need to watch it and breathe. That breath is your anchor. That awareness is your freedom. The world will keep changing. People will come and go. Your body will grow older. Time will move forward, no matter how tightly we hold. But within you, there is a space untouched by time. A calm that does not age. A presence that is always here. And when you live from that place, you no longer fear the changes of the world. You welcome them like old friends, because you know they too are just passing through. So the question is not, how do I stop change? The question is, how do I live fully, knowing that nothing stays the same? And perhaps the answer is to love more deeply, to breathe more consciously, to let go more gently, and to cherish this moment, because it will never come again. We all want something. Sometimes it's small, a sweet taste, a gentle word, a quiet evening. Other times it's larger, success, recognition, love, security. Desire in itself is not evil. But when we become attached to what we want, when we believe our happiness depends on getting it, we begin to suffer. The Buddha said, "From craving arises sorrow. From craving arises fear. But one who is free of craving has no sorrow and no fear." Desire creates a gap between what is and what we think should be. And in that space, suffering grows. We think, I'll be happy when I get what I want. But the truth is, even when we get it, the craving doesn't stop. It simply shifts to something else. A new phone, a bigger house, a more attentive partner, a more perfect body, a longer life. Always chasing, never arriving. There's a story of a wealthy man who had everything: property, power, prestige. But he lived in constant fear of losing it all. Each night, he locked every door 3 times. He couldn't sleep. He couldn't rest. Because his desire wasn't just to have, it was to keep what he had. Forever. But the world doesn't work that way. Everything we have can disappear in an instant. So when our peace depends on what we can possess, that peace is always fragile. In contrast, there was a monk. He owned nothing but a bowl and a robe. And yet, when he walked, he smiled. When he ate, he gave thanks. When he rested, he slept like a child. His joy didn't come from having less. It came from needing less. Because freedom is not found in having everything. It's found in being content with what is. In the modern world, especially here in the West, desire is constantly stirred. Advertisements tell us we're not enough. Social media shows us lives we wish we had. We're told to want more, to upgrade, to improve, to hustle for happiness. But no matter how fast you run, you cannot outrun the hunger of desire. It grows with every bite. Desire whispers, just one more thing, and then you'll be whole. But when you listen closely, you realize that voice never stops. So the practice is not to destroy desire, but to understand it, to see it clearly, and to stop giving it power over your peace. The next time you feel that craving, the itch to buy, to chase, to grasp, pause. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, what am I truly longing for right now? Is it the object, or is it the feeling underneath? Maybe it's connection. Maybe it's worthiness. Maybe it's love. Desire is often just a mask. Behind it is a softer truth, the human need to feel safe, seen, held. But no thing in this world can give you what you already carry inside. You are not incomplete. You are not lacking. You are simply distracted by illusions. The Buddha taught, to understand desire is to be free, because when you stop feeding the fire, the mind becomes quiet. The heart becomes light, and happiness arises, not because something was added, but because something was released. Try this simple practice. For one day, live with awareness of your wants. Notice them as they arise. Don't judge. Just watch. And whisper to yourself, I see you, but I don't need to follow you. Even a moment of non-attachment can bring immense peace. And in that space of stillness, you begin to discover a deeper joy, the kind that is not dependent on anything outside of you, the kind that cannot be taken away. This is the joy of freedom, the joy of being enough. Right here, right now, without chasing anything more. There is a place inside you that is always still, always calm, always present. But most of the time, we live far away from it. Our minds run forward into the future or drift backward into the past. What we could have done, what we still need to do, what might happen next. We're here, but we're not really here. We drink a cup of tea, but we're already worrying about tomorrow's appointment. We sit with family, but our thoughts are somewhere else. The body is in the present, but the mind is wandering endlessly. And that is where suffering begins. The Buddha taught, do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment, because only here, in this breath, in this moment, can peace exist. Mindfulness means returning to now. Not judging. Not fixing. Just seeing. Just being. It sounds simple, but it changes everything. When you are mindful, you begin to notice the small miracles you once missed. The warmth of the sun through the window. The way your chest rises and falls with each breath. The sound of birds. The silence between words. The weight of your own presence in the room. And slowly, the mind quiets. The heart softens. And happiness begins to bloom. Gently, without effort. In a world that celebrates multitasking and speed, mindfulness is an act of courage. To pause. To feel. To listen deeply. To come home to yourself. Many studies now show what the Buddha knew long ago, that mindfulness improves our health, our relationships, our mood. It lowers stress. It increases gratitude. It helps us sleep, digest, heal, connect. But beyond all science, there is a more subtle truth. Mindfulness brings us back to life. Because life is not happening in the someday, it's happening now. In this breath, in this word. In this exact moment, you're hearing these sounds. The more present you are, the more life opens itself to you. And the more you open to life. Try this simple practice. Choose one activity today, just one, and do it with your full attention. Wash the dishes. Walk to the mailbox. Eat a single piece of fruit. Feel the texture. Smell it. Taste it. Be fully there, not thinking, just experiencing. And then, notice how you feel. Mindfulness is not a technique. It's a way of being. A way of loving the world with your full attention. A way of saying to life, I'm here, I see you, I'm not rushing past you anymore. And when you live like this, you begin to find joy in the ordinary. You begin to realize that happiness isn't something you need to achieve. It's something you return to. Each time you choose presence over distraction. Each time you choose breath over worry. Each time you choose to be here and nowhere else. So the next time you catch your mind running, pause. Breathe. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel your breath enter and leave your body. And gently whisper to yourself, "This is enough. I am enough. Right now is enough." There is a kind of joy that doesn't shout. It doesn't sparkle like excitement or thrill like achievement. It's quieter, softer, deeper. It's the joy that rises when your heart opens to someone else. When you reach out, not because you have to, but because something inside you whispers, "I see your pain, and I want to ease it." The Buddha said, if you want others to be happy, practice compassion. If you want to be happy, practice compassion, not success, not control, not perfection, but compassion. Because in the act of easing another's suffering, something within us heals too. When we hold another with tenderness, we're also holding the parts of ourselves that once felt alone. You don't need grand gestures to practice compassion. You don't need to fix anyone's life. You just need to show up with presence, to listen without interrupting, to care without expecting anything in return. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is simply, "I'm here. I see you." You're not alone. In this world where so many are tired, guarded, afraid, your softness is not weakness. It is medicine. There's a story of a poor woman who had only one bowl of rice. But when she saw a hungry child, she gave the rice away. That night, she went to sleep hungry, but her heart was full. And in that fullness, she found joy more nourishing than anything food could give. Compassion is not about giving what you don't have. It's about recognizing that what you do have, your time, your presence, your patience, can be the very thing someone else is praying for. When you practice compassion, you dissolve the illusion of separateness. You begin to see yourself in every face you meet, and suddenly the world becomes less cold, less distant, more alive. In modern life, it's easy to become isolated. We look at our phones more than we look into someone's eyes. We live in neighborhoods, but not in community. We speak often, but listen rarely. Compassion invites us to slow down, to remember that every person you pass, in the store, on the street, in your own family, carries invisible burdens, a hidden grief, a silent fear. And when you respond not with judgment, but with kindness, you become a light in their darkness. Not only do you help them, but something in you expands, softens, shines. Try this gentle practice. Today, send a kind message to someone without any agenda. A word of thanks, a memory you cherish, a blessing from your heart, and let go of what they say back. Just give and release. This is true giving. And from it flows a joy that cannot be bought or lost. A joy that deepens each time you act with love. The world is full of noise, but compassion is the quiet thread that holds us together. And when you choose it, again and again, you begin to realize happiness is not in what you get. It's in what you give. It's not in being right. It's in being kind. Not in having more, but in needing less, because your heart is full. So open your heart. Let it be touched. Let it ache for others. Let it pour kindness without limit. Because in doing so, you'll find the kind of joy that doesn't rise and fall, but simply stays. If you've come this far, perhaps something inside you has already shifted. A quiet realization, a softening, a remembering. Happiness was never far away. It was never lost. It was simply waiting, beneath the noise, beneath the fear, beneath the endless chase. The Buddha did not offer us a secret formula. He offered us a path. Clear, simple, timeless. A path that begins when we stop running and start returning. Returning to presence. Returning to the breath. Returning to compassion, to stillness, to simplicity. So let us remember, happiness is not found. It is cultivated, moment by moment. Everything changes. So let us love what we have while it's here. Desire may rise, but we don't have to follow it. We can pause, breathe, let go. And in that letting go, there is space for something more honest, more peaceful, more true. When we are mindful, life reveals its beauty in the smallest things. When we are compassionate, life reveals its meaning in the way we touch others. These are not just teachings. They are invitations to live fully, to love deeply, to suffer less, to be free. So now, before you move on with your day, take a moment. Close your eyes, feel your breath, and ask gently, what truth do I want to carry forward from this moment? You don't need to remember everything. Just one thing, one seed. Plant it in your heart. Let it grow. And if this video has touched something in you, I invite you, from a place of shared humanity, to like this video, to subscribe to this channel, and to share this message with someone you care about. Not for numbers, but for connection, for healing, for light. You never know whose life you might quietly help change. And before you go, if something in this video spoke to you, I would love to hear from you in the comments. What resonated with you the most? What are you taking with you today? Let us listen to one another. Let us walk this path, not alone, but together. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for remembering what truly matters. May you be peaceful. May you be free. May you be deeply, gently happy.